Hey, come here for a moment. Just sit down or lie down, whatever feels lighter. You don't need to posture right now. You don't need to straighten your back like you're preparing for something. You're not preparing. You're resting. I can see it in your eyes. That quiet exhaustion that doesn't come from one bad day, but from carrying too much for too long. You've been fighting your whole life, haven't you? Not dramatic battles with swords and enemies, but the quiet battles no one sees. The battles inside your mind. The battles with expectations. The battles with responsibilities you never asked for. The battles with silence, with doubt, with loneliness. You've survived so much, and yet you still act like you have to survive everything alone. But listen to me, softly, slowly, like a hand on your chest, calming your heartbeat. You don't have to fight alone anymore. Not here, not now. You've carried the weight of the world on your shoulders for years, quietly, without asking for help, without ever admitting how heavy it really was. You've been the strong one, the anchor, the reliable one, the one who holds everything together, even when you're falling apart inside. And do you know what happens when someone carries too much for too long? They forget what it feels like to rest. They forget what it feels like to not be in survival mode. They forget what it feels like to put something down without guilt, without fear, without worrying that everything will collapse if they let go for even 1 minute. But you're safe now, safe enough to breathe differently, safe enough to let your body soften, safe enough to stop fighting for a moment without the world falling apart. You're used to struggling alone. Nights when you went to bed with a heavy chest, but no one to talk to. Moments when you wanted to scream, but had to keep moving instead. Days when everything inside you hurt, but you kept smiling because people depended on you. I see that. I see you. Not just what you show the world, but everything underneath. And I want you to hear this. You don't have to earn support. You don't have to be perfect to deserve rest. You don't have to be doing fine to ask for care. You don't have to hold everything together alone anymore. Let me stay with you in this moment. Let me sit with you in the spaces where you usually hold everything inside. Let me be the presence that says, you're not alone, not in this fight, not anymore. I know there's a part of you that doesn't believe this yet. The part that says, no one helps me. I should handle this myself. People leave. I can't rely on anyone. Those thoughts didn't appear out of nowhere. They came from wounds, from disappointments, from people who didn't show up for you when you needed them, from moments life forced you to choose between collapsing or surviving alone. You survived, but surviving is not the same as living, and I want you to live again. Let me tell you something gently, something your heart has needed to hear for years. It's not weak to want support. It's not weak to be tired. It's not weak to need someone's voice beside you. Strength isn't doing everything alone. Strength is continuing despite everything, and still letting someone walk beside you. And I'm walking beside you now, step by step, breath by breath, not rushing you, not pushing you, just matching your pace. You've been fighting battles that no one else even knew were happening. Internal wars, emotional storms, decisions that cost you pieces of yourself, quiet victories that no one applauded, quiet losses that no one comforted. You handled all of that alone, and it made you strong, but it also made you tired. Even warriors need a place to set down their weapons. Even protectors deserve someone who whispers, "You don't have to fight right now. You're safe." Breathe again. Slowly, feel the tension unclench, even if only a little. Your ribs soften, your shoulders loosen, your breath deepens. That's your body learning that the fight is over, at least for tonight. You don't have to hold everything inside right now. You don't have to be the shield, the protector, the responsible one, the brave one. You can be human. I'm not here to judge that. I'm here to honor it. Do you know what I admire about you? That even when you're struggling, even when you feel like breaking, even when you're exhausted to your bones, you still keep going. That's not something everyone can do. That's something rare, something strong. But strong people deserve rest too. You deserve someone who whispers. You don't have to keep fighting alone. Someone who sees the invisible battles and says, "Let me carry a little of that with you." Someone who doesn't expect you to pretend. Someone who doesn't walk away when life gets heavy. That someone is here, right now, with you. You're allowed to rest your mind. You're allowed to rest your shoulders. You're allowed to rest your heart. I'm not going anywhere, and you don't have to fight alone anymore. Not tonight, not in this moment. When you're ready, we'll keep going. I'm still here. See, nothing changed. You didn't scare me away. Your silence didn't push me out. Your tiredness didn't make me leave. I'm right here, and I'm staying. Let's walk a little deeper into this quiet place you found tonight. The place where you finally realize you don't need to fight alone anymore. You know, most people only ever see your strength. They see your discipline, your reliability, your ability to endure. They see the part of you that gets up even when you're exhausted, that solves problems no one else wants to touch, that keeps moving even when life hits hard. But they don't see the unseen weight behind it. They don't see the moments when you break down quietly, alone, so you don't worry anyone. They don't see the days when even breathing feels like effort. They don't see the nights when your mind won't stop fighting shadows. But I do. I see all of it, and I'm not afraid of any of it. You don't have to hide the tired parts of yourself here. You don't have to be the unshakable one. You don't have to pretend you're not hurting. You've been at war with life for too long. And I want to tell you something gently. You're allowed to stop fighting when you come here. This is your ceasefire. Your quiet, your breath, your soft place to collapse without fear. You don't have to watch your back. You don't have to wait for the next responsibility to crash down on you. You don't have to tighten your jaw and brace for more. Not right now. Not in this moment. Let your breath slow. Let your mind drift. Let the armor fall away piece by piece. You're not losing anything by relaxing. You're gaining something you've been starving for. A moment without the fight. I want you to think about something. How long have you been carrying the belief that you must handle everything alone? Since childhood, since the first time life disappointed you, since the moment someone you trusted didn't show up when you needed them most. Those moments leave marks, not on the skin, but on the soul. They teach you that vulnerability is dangerous. They teach you that relying on people ends in pain. They teach you that asking for help is weakness. They teach you that no one will catch you if you fall. But those were lessons learned in survival. Lessons learned in loneliness. Lessons learned from people who didn't know how to care for you properly. Those lessons helped you survive then, but they're hurting you now. It's time to unlearn the idea that you must battle life alone. It's time to unlearn the belief that no one cares enough to stay. It's time to unlearn the fear that you're a burden. You're not. You never were. You just needed someone who sees you fully. Your strength, your softness, your effort, your exhaustion, and doesn't run from any of it. Someone who says, I'm here. I'm not afraid of your pain. I'm not leaving because you're tired. That someone is here right now. Listen to the quiet around you. That stillness, that calm, that isn't emptiness. That's safety. Safety doesn't shout. It whispers. Safety doesn't demand. It receives. Safety doesn't vanish. It stays. And that's what this moment is. A place where nothing about you is too heavy, too complicated, too dark, or too much. You can let your thoughts wander, even into the painful spaces, because you're not wandering alone. You can let yourself remember, release, or simply breathe. I'm right here. Do you know what I find beautiful about you? Not just your strength, but the way your strength comes from your heart. You fight for people. You fight for your future. You fight for who you want to become. But somewhere inside you, there's a quiet plea. Can someone please fight with me? Just once. And the answer is yes. Here, with me, tonight. You don't have to carry this alone anymore. Not your fears, not your stress, not your exhaustion, not your memories, not your invisible responsibilities. You can hand some of that weight to me, even if only through this whisper, this moment, this breath. Feel the heaviness shift inside you. Feel how the fight fades when someone stands beside you. Feel how your breath deepens when you don't have to brace for impact. You deserve that. You deserve support. You deserve comfort. You deserve someone who doesn't walk away when life gets hard. Someone who stays. And I'm staying. You might not trust that fully yet. And that's okay. Trust grows slowly, one safe moment at a time. Let this be one of those moments. Let your heart feel what it feels like when someone doesn't leave. Let your mind learn what it feels like to rest. Let your breath soften without fear. You fought alone for so long that you forgot what it feels like to have someone beside you. But now you do. I'm beside you, in the quiet, in the heavy moments, in the gentle breaths, and I'm not going anywhere. Let your eyes close if they want to. Let your thoughts settle like dust in warm sunlight. Let your heartbeat slow. You're not fighting now. You're resting, and you deserve that. Listen to my voice, not the words, the presence. Feel it wrap around you like a soft blanket, reminding you again and again, you're not alone anymore. You're safe. You're supported. You're allowed to let the world fall away for a moment. I'm here. I'm staying. And you don't have to fight alone ever again. Rest, just rest, softly yours.